Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and good morning to all my lovely students of class 5. I warmly welcome you back to the class of Social Studies. This is your Social Studies teacher, Ms. Sunaya, and today we are back with another revision lecture. As you know that we have completed all 4 chapters that are included in our final term. Okay. Yes, class 6. That is included in final term. So the chapter which we started on Tuesday was the British Raj. We had covered that chapter, half chapter we had learned, and rest of the topics for that from that chapter would be learned today. So I want all the students to be attentive, to be active, and to be alert. So I want your books to be open, but your book should be turned. Okay? You will not turn your book until I say. So class, let's go ahead. As you know that the chapter which we are going to start today, not start, we are going to continue today is the British Raj. This was the third chapter of your final term, and we started relearning this chapter on Tuesday. We had covered half of the topics of this chapter. Now rest of the half would be covered today. So in the last class we learned about the things like we started learning from that how Vasco da Gama introduced a sea route from Europe to India, East India especially, and Calicut was the place where he joined. So that is why he introduced the route from Europe to Calicut or the India, and we need to know that this route was like initiative for the European traders to start trading with South Asia, especially India, because India was very famous for for its spices, their pearls, and their metals, and many of the things were there for which India was famous. So the regions of the entire world wanted to trade with India or South Asia. So this sea route was introduced by Vasco da Gama. Then other traders followed the same route, right? But then we saw that in 1600, the British traders came, and there were many of the battles. There were wars between uh, British traders and the European traders. But British were much stronger, so they were able to defeat the European traders. So they started their company and trading with India with the name of the company East India Company, which is sometimes called as English East India Company. That English East India Company was like initiative with which the British started the trading with India and rest of the regions of South Asia. Then gradually they showed their real faces. The main purpose of their arrival was ruling this region, not the trading just. Right? So we saw that how they made their centers in Madras, which is now named as Chennai, and Bombay, which is now named as Mumbai, and we have learned about rest of the regions as well, that how they made their centers in the main regions. Now the next thing we should know that after these regions, this was not enough for them. They tried to rule over the Bengal as well. So there was a ruler of Bengal, Nawab Sirajuddaula, who did not like their influence in the India. So he did not want the British to come to his region. So he fought a battle named as Battle of Plassey that was fought in 1750s. In that battle, we saw that we learned that how the army of Nawab Sirajuddaula fought with British, but there were some of the unfortune of Nawab Sirajuddaula that one of his army men, Mir Jafar, got bribed by Robert Clive. Robert Clive was the sir or the member of the army of British. Right, so this is how we saw that how the Battle of Plassey started taking place, and and it ended with the victory of British because they were stronger. right? Why Nawab Sirajuddaula's army got weakened? Because of the because his army got bribed. This is how they got weakened and they were defeated. Then we saw that after this region, now British wanted to come to the Mysore, right, where Hyder Ali used to rule. And after Hyder Ali, his son Tipu Sultan, which is real name is Sultan Tipu, but he's more famous with the name of Tipu Sultan. Okay, so let's talk about the Hyder Ali. Hyder Ali did not like their influence. He was illiterate ruler, but he was the man of dignity who always wanted to be treated with respect and honor, right? But he just died fighting with his enemies. Afterwards, his son Tipu Sultan, he was a literate person, he was a literate ruler, and he tried to reform his kingdom. And his kingdom was Mysore. Definitely, the kingdom was Mysore. If we talk about his father or the Tipu Sultan, the kingdom was Mysore, but the capital of that kingdom was Seringapatam, which was captured in 1799 by British. So he was a brave man who introduced Urdu newspaper to reform his government, and he was offered by British to become a deputy and work and rule under their supervision. But he was a brave man who replied that it is better to live like a lion for a day than 100 years like a jackal. And he also died fighting with his enemies. Then we saw the World War and the War of Independence, 1857. Then we saw that how this happened, and there were religious aspects or the issues or conflicts due to which the war was fought. After that, we saw that the how British fought against famine, right? They made the canal system, railway lines were stretched throughout the country or throughout that region, subcontinent, and many more things were introduced, right? Now we need to learn about the Indian National Congress. The very first thing we should know about the Indian National Congress is this was the very first political party made for the Hindus of India or subcontinent. So in Britain, what used to happen, people used to elect their own government who made all the decisions in the country. The Queen was not allowed by the law to interfere with the elected government. The British tried to introduce this type of government, which is known as democracy, in the South Asia as well. And by 1885, here the sun is written in front of you, the air is written, right? Many councils had been introduced that were responsible for making some of the decisions in the country. That year, some Indians formed their first political party. It was the time when the British were here. The British Empire was started over here, but okay, after which that year some Indians formed their first political party with the help of British gentlemen, and this political party was named as Indian National Congress. As the time passed, the Indian National Congress realized that the people of South Asia did not have as much power as their or as like they were not having the power in their country as the people of the Britain had in theirs. Okay, why British allowed them to have democracy? Because they were stronger, they were just holding that democracy in their regions. But with the time they saw that the Indians are not capable to run such kind of democracy or such kind of form of government. So that is why they just took this power of making decisions. So the viceroy made all the important decisions, while councils elected by the people did not have any real authority. So Indian National Congress was made for taking all the rights. They did not want the viceroys to make the decisions. They want decisions to be made by themselves. So that is why they raised their first political party named as Indian National Congress. So basically it was made in 1885. So our leader Sir Syed Ahmad Khan was realizing that time that Hindus of India are progressing time by time. They are reforming themselves. They are bringing the changes in their government. So there should be something done for the Muslims as well. So what he did, he just introduced the Mohammedan Educational Conference. The Mohammedan Educational Conference was the first of all we need to know that Sir Syed Ahmad Khan was a great thinker, journalist, historian, reformer, and educationist. He realized that the democracy was an ideal which the pious caliph has presented before the world in its early days of Islam. Okay, he was Muslim, so that is why he was thinking more about the Muslims, because he had seen that how the Hindus of India are just modernizing themselves time by time. So that is why Hindus were in majority in South Asia, especially in India. So democracy could only mean that only Hindus would get chosen if the government was to be elected by the people. We know that what happens in democracy the people, the leaders are elected by the people, and there was the majority of Hindus. So definitely, no, or the minor number of the Muslim leaders would be chosen if the democracy would be there. So that is why he tried to modernize the Muslims as well. So what happened? On December 27, 1886, in 1885, the National Congress was made. After a year of that, he made the Mohammedan Educational Conference. Okay, in 1886, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan invited the Muslims from all over South Asia and suggested that decisions be taken only after consulting each other. Consequently, they formed an organization called Mohammedan Educational Congress, because it was formed after the Indian National Congress. So the name was a bit similar, but with the time he changed the name, and the name was chosen as Mohammedan Educational Conference, not the Congress. Right. So what happened? What used to be happen here in Mohammedan Educational Conference? Sir Syed Ahmad Khan was the one who wanted to unite the Muslims of entire South Asia or the India. So he decided to have a kind of meeting where all the Muslims were invited, and where all the Muslims will come and they will decide their upcoming decisions. They will talk on important matters, right? So each year the conference held its annual session in the different city where Muslims from all over South Asia would meet each other. But soon they began to find answers to their deepest inquiries. Okay, what were the advantages and disadvantages of the British rule? How can Muslims survive as a nation when they are in minority? बोलो क्लास हो रही है, क्लास के बाद. Okay, so Sir Syed Ahmad Khan wanted Muslim to think on these kind of questions, that either what is good for them, what is bad for them. So for this purpose, first all the Muslims of the region should come at a place so where they can express their feelings, where they can express their opinions. For this purpose, the Mohammedan Educational Conference used to be their annual session used to be held in different cities each year. After Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, his son Syed Mahmud presented the useful idea of 10 years later in 1896. He proposed that Muslims should choose Muslim leaders in such government bodies as provincial and central assemblies. So it is nothing but the initiative for the Muslim to make them modernized. So, as this was just like a conference, now we need some political party. Mohammedan Educational Conference was not the political party. The political party for the Muslims was All India Muslim League. Okay, beta, before that, I want you to read out this paragraph which is on in front of you now. In India from 1857, the total graduate Hindus were 715. Now you can see over here the number of students who graduate from uh, the the institution. While total Muslim graduate were 20, now you can see the difference in 20 and 715. There's a great difference, right? So this was the thing which was like hitting Sir Syed Ahmad Khan in his mind, that if this would continue, how Muslim would get modernized. So that is why Sir Syed Ahmad thought it is necessary for Muslims to get modern education. That is why he started an educational movement to awaken the educational consciousness among the Muslims. Its center was the Aligarh. He made the college, Aligarh College, which later converted into Aligarh University. This is called as Aligarh movement. What happened in it? He wanted to modernize the Muslims, because when he saw that from 1857 to 1859, in these 200 these 2 years, the total number of Hindu who graduate from the institution was 715, and the total number of Muslim was 20. So if this continue, the Muslim cannot succeed to anything, right? So that is why he started this. This is called Aligarh movement, founded by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, the greatest Muslim educationist of 19th century. The services which Sir Syed Ahmad Khan rendered for the Muslims are known as the Aligarh movement in the history of the Muslims of India. Now, All India Muslim League was the very first political party of Muslims, right? Now, it was founded at Dhaka in 1906, and it was the political party in British India that developed into driving force behind the creation of Pakistan as the Muslim state from British India on the Indian subcontinent. So, after Mohammedan Educational Conference, All India Muslim League was a kind of second step towards the success, right? Because this is made for the political perspective, and through this political party, Muslims can represent them in subcontinent. They can raise their voice to get their rights. So this was the All India Muslim League. On the last page of this chapter, it is like page number 80, there is separate electorate paragraph which we could not discuss in our physical classes. So beta, it is nothing but what happens in a country, joint electorate happens, but separate electorates are usually demanded by minorities. Okay, this is the difference you need to keep in your mind, that the normal electorates means voting system. So if there's a joint voting system, that is for country. But if in a country there is a nation which who is in minority, so there should be something for them as well. For example, if we talk about the subcontinent, so Muslims were in minority, so Muslims were not having that much right which in Hindus were having. So that is why they decided to have separate electorate. It means election for the minorities who feel it would otherwise be difficult for them to get the fair representation in the government. For example, if separate electorate for Muslim means that Muslims will choose their separate leader by separate elections for the Muslims. Okay, the joint electorate, what happens in joint electorate, there was no Hindu, there's no Muslim, just elections were there, people will choose their leaders. But separate electorate indicates that there is like like there should be election for the minorities as well, where only Muslims will choose only the Muslim leader. Okay, this kind of elections work is called separate electorate. Now, these kind of things used to happen, and gradually the Muslims were becoming stronger and stronger. And finally, we got the independence, we got the freedom at last. What happened? We know that the British were there, right? So that time, British, like, they got the news that they had to leave South Asia. Why they had to leave South Asia? One of the reason was the World War II, a 6 year long war which was fought almost everywhere in the world. So this was the motive which was driving British to leave this region, because they need to tackle more difficulties now. Okay, so that is why they decided to leave South Asia and to leave especially India. So this was like freedom at last. Okay, in this paragraph, what kind of things we need to remember? In these paragraph, definitely nothing is as much new for you. Everything is the thing which we already discussed. Okay, um, so we know that we got independence 14 August 1947, and the last British Viceroy Lord Mountbatten visited Karachi and transferred power to Qaeda-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. That is why he became the first Governor General of Pakistan. In the last paragraph of this chapter, you have been given the information of Sri Lanka. We know that Sri Lanka got independence on 4th February 1948, right? So, and Maldives got independence in 1965. Now let's talk about the personalities which is in our syllabus. Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Raja was like title given to him. Ram Mohan Roy was his name, right? So he was very different from all Indian Hindu, we can say that, the leaders or the personalities, because when we're learning about the Sati, we came to know that Sati was the Hindu custom, right? But Raja Ram Mohan Roy was the one who opposed it. He was the one who tried to reform the Hindu society, but he did not take part in such activities which are not good. Okay, he was intelligent enough, so he decided to work on those things which are like where there is a lack. Only in that case he would introduce something like, for example, he abolished sati. Okay, and which was, we know that it was the Hindu custom, and how serious, especially Brahmins were very serious for this tradition, for this custom. Okay, they did not want this sati to be banned. This was banned by Sir Charles Napier, that we learned earlier. But Raja Ram Mohan Roy was the one who did who was not in the favor of sati. He was against the sati. Apart from this thing, we can see over here written that he wanted girls to get education. He wanted girls to get educated, not to get married early. Okay, so this is the thing which is like, he is having different thoughts. If we compare him with that time, when people were really like just were having the conservative mindset. So at that time he wanted the girls to get education, and he did not want the girls to get married early. He opened school and promoted modern learning, fight against sati, abolished in 1829. Brahmo Samaj was the movement. It was the movement which is very, very important. Society which worships Brahmins, no idol worship, no caste restriction. Afterwards, we need to know about the Muhammad Ali Johar. Muhammad Ali Johar was the he was the one who started Khilafat movement, and the name of his brother was Shaukat Ali, and these two brothers are called as Ali brothers. He was political activist and journalist. He and his brother Shaukat Ali, together they are called as Ali brothers, were among the earliest leaders of All India Muslim League. And from 1919 to 1923, it means for 4 years, they led a movement against the British government, demanding that the Muslim government of the Turkey or the Khilafat should be protected. This is called Khilafat movement. The Congress and Hindu leaders also participated in this movement. After Rajaram Mohan Roy and Muhammad Ali Johar, okay, beta, here comes a very important thing which I was trying to tell you. Okay, so the book name is The Reconstruction of Religious Thought in Islam. This was written by Sir Muhammad Iqbal, Allama Iqbal. On the Google form, there was a mistake. There was no correct answer. So mistakenly, Sir Sayyid Ahmad Khan was written over there. Okay, so I want you to please know this thing. This was the book, The Reconstruction of Religious Thought in Islam, was written by Allama Muhammad Iqbal. Only 20 students, almost 20 to 25 students are just taking class. So this paragraph I would write on your Google Classroom as well. So those students who are not attending the class, they must come to know this thing. Okay, so this is the book name, and it was written by it was written by Sir Muhammad Iqbal. Okay, I am telling you again and again this thing. This is important and you need to remember. Okay, I have just corrected it on your Google form. If you go there, you will find this question now correctly, and you will see the option as Muhammad Iqbal. Okay, so please beta keep this thing in your mind. This book was written by Muhammad Iqbal or Allama Muhammad Iqbal. Apart from this, many of the things we should know about the Allama Muhammad Iqbal, that he was the poet, he was the thinker and politician. He was born in Sialkot, and he was one of the most learned person of British Raj, and the greatest poet of Urdu and the Persian of his time. And we learned that he introduced the Urdu magazines as well. If you remember, in our languages, we learned that he introduced modern Urdu news magazines. His view about the importance of self and the glorious Muslim heritage had a great impact on the people of South Asia, especially the Muslims. He presided over the annual session of All India Muslim League in Allahabad in 1930. But this Allahabad session was very important and you need to remember it. Okay, this is for your general knowledge as well. It is usually asked everywhere in different examination because it comes in your general knowledge as well. Okay, so you need to remember that in 1930, the year you need to remember, that was 1930. He presided his session in Allahabad, right, where he presented the idea of two nation theory. So, the provinces with Muslim majority from the form a Muslim unit within South Asia. This idea later developed into the concept of Pakistan. So, the very initial concept of Pakistan was given by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, Allama Iqbal. They were not there at the time of independence, but their achievements, their contribution is like much more. Okay, so Allama Iqbal, you need to remember. Okay, now here comes Rabindranath Tagore. We know that he got the Nobel Prize on his collection named as Gitanjali. Gitanjali is a collection done by Rabindranath Tagore, and he got the Nobel Prize for that. So he was a poet, he was an educationist and reformer. Tagore was the Bengali poet basically, and first South Asian to receive the Nobel Prize. The first South Asian to receive Nobel Prize. This is important. The first South Asian to receive Nobel Prize. He was given the prize for his collection of the poems. As I told you that he was a poet, so basically he got the Nobel Prize on his poems. That was the collection of the poems named as Gitanjali. In his ancient days of Hinduism, And in his practical life, he led a movement for reforming the Hindu society through liberal education. Now, here comes the very important personality, M.K. Gandhi, Mahatma Karamchand Gandhi. MK stands for Mahatma Karamchand Gandhi. Okay, so he is very famous. If you just Google his name, the first paragraph would be appeared in front of you with having the slogan as non-violence is the greatest force at the disposal of mankind. It is mightier than the mightiest weapon of the destruction devised by the ingenuity of man. He just started the slogan non-violence as a tactic against the British. Okay, and he is very famous, and he was like a great leader. He is among the great leaders of the world even. Now, Jawaharlal Nehru, about Jawaharlal Nehru, we have learned a lot of things. We know that he was the first Prime Minister of India. We know that what did he say in his independence speech. We know that what was the name of his daughter. So let's repeat it. The name of his daughter was Indira Gandhi. In his independence speech, he said that at the time of at the midnight hour when the world sleeps, India will wake to the life and freedom. Yes, very good, very good, very good. Who has told me this? Okay, Muhammad On have has told me very good. Okay, okay. He was the follower of MK Gandhi. Beta, this is important. Okay, he was the follower of MK Gandhi. We need to remember he was the first Prime Minister of India, and he was the son of Moti Lal. He was the son of Moti Lal, and Jawaharlal Nehru was his name, and he was defeated by Lal Bahadur Shastri. But when Lal Bahadur Shastri was died, his daughter Indira Gandhi came into power. Right? So Jawaharlal Nehru was a follower of Gandhi and led the Congress in the final days of its struggle for independence. He became the first Prime Minister of India in 1947. So why he was chosen as the Prime Minister? Because that time he was leading the Indian National Congress. So that is why he became the Prime Minister of India. Now here comes the last personality and the important one. Okay, you know more about him, and you know many things regarding Muhammad Ali Jinnah, Qaid Azam, right? He was a politician, he was a lawyer, he was the founder of our nation. The Qaid-e-Azam is the title. He was a great leader. The name was Muhammad Ali Jinnah, and he successfully campaigned and led Pakistan's independence from India and became its first leader. Right. So many more things we can read about him from the book. Okay. So I want someone to read the paragraph from page number 80. Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Yes, raise your hand those who want to read this paragraph. Yes, Iman. Iman, can you?
Muhammad Ali Jinnah was a lawyer.
Hmm.
Muhammad Ali Jinnah was a lawyer, politician, founder of Pakistan, officially known as the Quaid-e-Azam in Pakistan. He was born in Karachi and later settled in Bombay, where he became an outstanding lawyer. He started his political career with the Indian National Congress, but later also joined with the All India Muslim League and tried to bring an understanding between the two major religious communities, thus earning the title the ambassador of
Ambassador,
Hindu Muslim
yes.
Unity,
Unity.
realizing that the two nations could not live together. He demanded
Two
Pakistan
nations
a
could not
separate
live together.
homeland. Two nations could not live together. He demanded Pakistan a separate homeland for the Muslims of South Asia in 1940 and became its founder and first Governor General in 1947.
Very good. Okay, so this was all about the Qaeda Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. So here your chapter is completed. If you have any questions, so you can ask me in the chat box. If you have any query, you can ask me. Okay, beta, you will be on Monday. There's a submission collection day, right? Your parents would come. They would collect your copies, and you will be given the worksheets as well. Okay, with the copies you will be given the worksheets, which are the revision worksheets. So what you need to do, all you need to do is you need to just read out that page which would be given to you. There would be fill in the blanks, there would be true false, you need to attempt them all. Okay, that is for your practice. Okay, Haya, you want to read beta? We are having less than 1 minute, so your meeting can be ended anytime. Okay, so inshallah we shall meet in the next class.